God.
12 most dangerous places on Earth. Number 12. Java and Sumatra, Indonesia. There exist two islands in Indonesia that are said to be the victims of more natural disasters than any other part of the world. Java and Sumatra are subjected to serious droughts, landslides, floods, earthquakes, volcanoes, and tsunamis that threaten all life in the area. According to the Center for Hazards and Risk Research, there are more documented cases of disaster here than any other modern region in recorded history. Back in 2004, a well-known disaster struck the area, simply known as the 2004 Indian Ocean Tsunami. This tsunami is estimated to have claimed the lives of 227,898 people after causing an earthquake that measured 9.1 on the Richter scale. This area of Indonesia was hit the hardest, though 130,000 people are believed to have lost their lives as well in other portions of the world. This isn't the area's only issue though, as smaller disasters take place frequently all throughout the region. In the last 100 years, droughts have killed just under 10,000 people, volcanoes have claimed the lives of nearly 18,000, and earthquakes are said to have taken the lives of nearly 22,000. Floods and landslides have also been a major issue for the area, though to a much smaller degree in recent years. To keep it simple, stay away from the Java and Sumatra portions of Indonesia. Number 11. Lake NYOS, Cameroon. Cameroon is a region located in West Africa. Lake NYOS rests within this area and is known to be the most deadly lake on the face of the earth. Just below the surface is a large pocket of magma that releases deadly levels of carbon dioxide into the water. This carbon dioxide is released due to the extreme pressure that's 650 feet of water on the magma. This carbon dioxide then remains within the water and causes an effect similar to the carbonation you may experience in your favorite soda. However, in 1986, all of the water in the lake suddenly erupted with built-up carbonation. It sent water soaring into the air as if you dropped a Mento in a Coke bottle. This released loads of carbon dioxide into the air and claimed the lives of 1,700 people who lived nearby as a result of asphyxiation. Anyone within a 15-mile radius of the lake is said to have passed away, including a large portion of wildlife. Since the incident, a system of pipes and pumps have been installed to help alleviate the high levels of carbon dioxide. However, the lake is still known to be extremely dangerous to anyone who goes near it. Number 10. Iraq. Iraq is a country that needs no introduction. There are certainly innocent civilians that are located in Iraq, but as a whole, the country is truly one of the worst countries in the world due to their radical ideologies. Just since 2003, Iraq's civil war has taken the lives of over 650,000 citizens. Several terrorist groups have grown their roots in Iraq over the years, many of which took place in the early to mid-2000s. In the last 15 years, over 2 million citizens are said to have fled the country in search of a better life, though millions are still trapped in Iraq with no means of an exit. Number 9. Naples, Italy. Mount Vesuvius is documented as erupting sometime around 79 AD. After this initial eruption, at least 50 others are said to have followed, with there still being bodies encased in the hardened lava still to this day, though many individuals have still decided to move to nearby areas of the volcano. With up to 650,000 people living within a few miles of the dormant landmass. According to reports, a potential eruption could cause the evacuation of around 1 million people, with there being a very little warning for inhabitants. There are several other volcanoes in the nearby area that also threaten portions of Italy, but Naples, Italy is estimated to be one of the most dangerous areas in the world due to the fact that Mount Vesuvius could erupt again at any given moment without warning. Still, many people continue to live here as their families have resided in the area for several decades. But if you know what's good for you, stay far away from Naples, Italy. Number 8. Colombia. Colombia has been recognized as one of the most dangerous countries in the world for several decades. In 1998 alone, there were over 2,338 reported kidnappings, with 138 of these victims eventually being killed by their kidnappers. Politicians are common targets in the country, with dozens losing their lives each year. It has also been estimated that 75% of the world's drug supply comes from Colombia. Pablo Escobar is a name that we are all likely to be familiar with, as he is one of the key figures in Colombia's dark history of crime. Number 7. Sudan. Sudan is a country that is known worldwide for its death and utter turmoil. Radical Islamic citizens are known to run rampant throughout the area, forming groups, sects, or gangs that introduce violence into nearly every corner of the country. Explosions, bombings, rocket launching, and mass murder are just a few issues that the country faces, with violence being the norm for most citizens. Since the year 2003, over 230,000 individuals are estimated to have fled from the country in an effort to escape the senseless violence that claims the lives of thousands each year. Just in the last 50 years, more than 2 million people have died as a result of the wars that the country faces. Sudan is truly a grim place, and it's shocking that anyone still lives there, other than those who are genuinely unable to flee. Number 6. Miami, Florida. Florida is known for being a hotspot for hurricanes. Locations such as this are certainly interesting because it makes you wonder why millions of people choose to live on a coastline that is a hotspot for hurricanes nearly every year. A recent geological survey suggested that Miami, Florida can expect to encounter at least 60 hurricanes within a 100-year period. In fact, in 2008, Miami was ranked as the most dangerous area in the country for hurricanes. According to the Red Cross, the Great Miami Hurricane, which struck in 1926, damaged or demolished every single building located in downtown Miami. At least 373 people were killed. Less than a decade later, yet another hurricane struck the coast and took the lives of another 408 people. A similar occurrence happened once again in 1960, though this hurricane didn't quite reach the magnitude of the previous two. However, the most recognizable hurricane to have struck the area was in 1992, when Hurricane Andrew plowed through Miami, taking the lives of 23 people and causing an incredible $26.5 billion in damages to properties throughout the Miami area. Number 5. Somalia. Somalia is a country that is known for having a failed government and an overall anarchist agenda in place. Nearly anyone who passes by the area is heavily warned against entering the country. It is even advised to not sail by the area on boat or fly by in a plane. Pirates are known to lurk around the waters that surround the country, searching for crews to kidnap and boats to steal. Many of them are armed with assault rifles and are ready to gun down anyone who comes within viewing distance of them. Gang violence is believed to have claimed the lives of thousands in the last few years, with the country's capital repeatedly being under attack by enemy forces of local gangs. Ethiopia was even attacked by Islamic troops back in 2006, which caused thousands of casualties of local citizens. Number 4. Sahel, Africa. It's not very common to hear about droughts, especially not in well-established parts of the world. California is known for having droughts throughout the summer months, but not to the extent of Sahel, Africa. According to a research study, Sahel, Africa was in such a dramatic drought between 1972 and 1984 that the lives of over 100,000 people were taken due to the lack of proper hydration. An estimated 750,000 individuals were also affected, as they had no way to water their crops. This caused the entire region to become dependent on supplemental food aid, though even this was scarce at the time. The issue has only gotten worse over the years, with certain areas of Sahel now being considered deserts. Droughts continue on to this day, though we can hope that families have decided to leave the area over the years and find a more healthy location to live in the country. Number 3. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a country that needs no introduction. Countless wars have been started as a result of the country's radically religious citizens, making it one of the most influential countries in the world for hundreds of years, though Afghanistan is still one of the poorest, undeveloped countries to exist in the modern age. When the Soviets invaded the country decades ago, the military is estimated to have planted over 12 million landmines all throughout the country. Millions of these mines are still active to this day, though they have yet to be detonated. Hundreds of people lose their lives to landmines each year, with there being no way to remedy the situation. The United States infiltrated the country in 2001 to take down the Taliban. However, since then, numerous other radical groups have formed and caused major chaos for the country that has now run out of control. Afghanistan is also considered to be one of the world's largest suppliers for drugs, making certain areas of the country extremely unstable and causing heaps of gang violence daily. Number 2. Guatemala. Guatemala is located in Central America, which is said to be one of the most dangerous portions of the world to live, as the area is prone not only to earthquakes, but also violent hurricanes and even mudslides. Central America lies in what is known as the Ring of Fire. This area is one of the most seismically active parts of the world, with earthquakes striking almost constantly. Guatemala was affected by a 7.5 magnitude earthquake back in 1976 that is estimated to have taken the lives of 23,000 people. The country is also covered in mountains, which meant that mudslides took out many of the roads, causing individuals to become trapped without any means of leaving the area. Heavy rain that plagues the area certainly doesn't help this. In 2005, Hurricane Stan drenched Guatemala and caused over 900 mudslides to take place. Villages were completely wiped out, and a village known as Panabaj is now considered to be a cemetery, as there was no hope of digging out all of those who were drowned by the mud. Over 300 people remained buried beneath the muddy terrain. Some have estimated that around this time, over 2,000 people lost their lives to the mud. Number 1. Russia. This entry may seem a bit broad, but Russia, literally all of it, is considered by many to be one of the most dangerous places in the world that an individual could live. The country is largely overrun with crime, with vandals and gangsters lurking around every corner. The Russian mafia runs rampant throughout the country, with many believing that the mafia is heavily involved in government politics. Every 18 minutes, a Russian is said to have lost their life due to violence, with an estimated 84 people dying each day. Much of Russia's crime takes place in the areas surrounding Chechnya. This area is filled with drug trafficking, restaurants that are run by the mob, and even prostitution. Many of those who visit the area become victims of kidnapping, pickpocketing, thievery, or assault. The country only seems to be growing worse as time marches on, with Russia now being considered one of the most dangerous countries in the world.